So today is a really exciting day. I'm walking down to pick up the new company car. So it's about a 40-minute walk to the dealer. It's bitterly cold today, so we'll see how we go. I'm talking and walking, so sometimes I really want to put gloves on and a muff on, but anyway, here we go. Scarf wrap around would be good today. It's definitely that sort of bitter on the lips. But, we haven't had much of a winter this year, so I suppose it's okay. Anyway, so I'm walking alongside loads of gas guzzling cars, as you can hear at the moment, but my next car is going to be fully electric. So basically what made us do that decision to go fully electric, well, partly it's the tax regime in the UK, in that come not so much this year or next year, but the third year of the contract hire, because that's how we do our vehicles, will be only 2% benefit in kind tax, which basically means we can have a much more expensive vehicle, a better quality of vehicle, for the same price as we're paying currently. So what we decided to go for? Well, we decided to go for a Jaguar I-Pace, primarily because it meets a lot of our criteria. And when we were looking at it, we had to make this decision to purchase the car middle of last year, because we're looking at lead times on electric vehicles, and we needed one for the middle of February. And that was a challenge because there weren't many electric vehicles actually available which met our spec. We needed something which is going to be sufficiently large enough to carry equipment, and it would a range of about 200 miles. 230 miles, that was quite happy for us. And back then we really didn't have much choice. We were looking perhaps at Tesla. Now, having driven the Teslas a couple of times for Fascinating Tech magazine, we decided that they were just a little bit big for the UK, certainly too long for both our office garage and my own personal garage. I just wouldn't have got one in. So we looked around and basically settled on the Jaguar I-Pace. Now, we probably have more choice now. When we were looking, the Jaguar hadn't come out. Kona EV, the E-Nero, which is also a very good car. Both of those would probably suit us now and be a lot cheaper. But we couldn't really guarantee we'd get one at the time. And it was actually touch and go whether we'd get the I-Pace in time. So I'd actually looked at the I-Pace probably almost 2 years ago at Cenix, the low carbon vehicle event at Millbrook to Proving Ground. And I'd actually looked at the underlying skate of it, and I liked the fact it was being designed ground up as an electric vehicle. So I was quite taken with it. Come about, it started last year, sort of late May, June time, we had the launch at our local dealer, which we went to, and we liked what we saw. It was going to work well for the company, so we put a deposit down at that point. I didn't confirm the order at that point though, because we wanted to test drive. And it took a while to get a test drive, a couple of months. And I had a test drive, really liked it. The other members of the staff who tried it, who will be driving it as well, had a try and liked it. But it was a very short test drive. It was sort of a company test drive with the dealer. It really didn't give me enough time to be totally happy with it. Fortunately, I got an invite to the Art Performance event from Jaguar at Millbrook Proving Grounds, and that proved really important in terms of making a decision. I love driving it there. A very good event as well, actually. Surprisingly long event, with lots of different driving styles around circuit track, going around rather crazily for somewhere in Bedfordshire. You'd think it'd be flat there, but they actually have an alpine track which you can go down. Lots of curly, twisting hairpins and things to try out. And it showed the handling on the I-Pace is exceptional. Really good car for driving, and very comfortable to driving for long distances as well, which is useful. Now, most of my mileage is actually quite short distances from office to office, but we do occasionally do the long trips. We a couple of times a year head out to Europe for events, some long trips to Europe in the UK for events. So it's worth having something which could do a reasonable mileage and charge reasonably quickly. Now, that could be something where we're not quite sure at the moment how the Jaguar is going to work out for that, because it's quoted at 100 kilowatt per hour charging. That seems not to be totally feasible. Oh, sorry, 100 kilowatt charging, not 100 kilowatt an hour. 100 kilowatt charging, that doesn't seem to be totally feasible. What I'm seeing in reports is that even with the latest software updates is about 80 kilowatts. Now, that's probably feasible, because I think when we tried the tester out on the supercharger, we were getting around that on average, although you do get peak at the start, but as the battery filled up, it was getting slower and slower. So I think that's totally reasonable, and I've actually just gone the wrong way, so I need to turn around and keep going. Anyway, I'm heading down to the dealer. I'm not sure whether they will actually let us film there, but we'll see. And talk to you later. Spot to sit and talk about the car. Yeah, so driving experience is lovely. It drives really nicely. I'm just about getting the seat position right. It's got settings for virtually everything. You can raise and lower the seat, obviously, and forward and backwards. You can change the position of the seat cushion. You can change the bolster settings. So that's the bit which whips you around the side. It's great, actually, if you want to move sideways in sharp corners. You can change all sorts of things. Lumbar support, height, yeah, all the normal stuff, but also you've got the memory keys to actually make it easier to work with that. Like so. There is still a fair degree of reflection. I've adjusted the seat position a bit higher, which seems to have got rid of most of what I'm seeing, but let's show you what I'm seeing. Certainly not as bad as it was. This is basically from my eye height, but you can still see there's a little bit of the dashboard being reflected into the image. Probably more noticeable to go across. Certainly noticeable to me. It seems less noticeable than these video images, but very noticeable to me, and it was quite distracting at first, but having raised the seating position, it seems a lot better. But I really do like this car. I mean, it drives amazingly well. You can throw it around corners quite happily. It joins traffic really happily. I love the forward collision monitoring. That's really clever. You've got a camera option. Let me see if I can find it over here. Got all the camera options we could want. We tap this camera button, and this one here is brilliant. Basically gives you a view either side of the front of the car, and as cars approach from either side, it gives you a warning, or if someone walks in front of you as well. So very useful. A bit noisy. I'm not quite sure how to turn it off. The mute, what appears to be a mute button here, just seems to make it a little bit quieter. It doesn't actually mute it, so I'm not sure what that one's for, but I'll look in the manual and do a bit of research. I think there's going to be a lot of looking in the manuals, but never mind. So far so good though. I guess this range meter really is what the Nissan drivers used to call a guessometer, or GOM, because it's going all over the place. It was 207 one moment ago, 209 a second ago, and all I'm doing is sitting here. I haven't got the camera on. I'm just watching the cameras. Review cameras quite good here, because you can see all the surrounding countryside, which is rather nice. But yeah, so it's a little bit interesting, a little bit erratic, but it's supposed to be based on driving style. So I'm not sure if this is standard, but I got a quite nice little gift from the dealer. When I hand over, this is a couple of key rings. This is obviously the Leaper, as they call it, the Jaguar Leaper, and which is on the back of this car. And then over here we've got the Growler, which is on the front of the car, and it's the same red as the front of the car. Let's get that in focus. Yeah, really nice. I like that. Sometimes it's nice to have a key ring which matches the car. So day two, and although the car is still brilliant to drive, we have our first issue, and it's an annoying one, and it appears to be quite common from what I'm seeing on the forums. So let's have a look. So as you can see, the instrument cluster in the centre is on, but if we look over here, neither the centre console or the temperature controls are on. Now this means I can't adjust the heated seats or adjust the temperature of the car, and obviously I can't do any navigation, which is rather annoying. It still drives. It's been driving really well. Not a problem to drive. all the cruise control, the safety functions and everything are still working, but yeah, somewhat annoying. Now, one thing I have managed to sort a little bit is the reflection on the screen. That's definitely a lot better now. I've changed the seating position, had to adjust the lumbar support and everything else, so that's been quite good. Had a passenger in the car for the first time today and they had a little bit of issue trying to get their seat adjusted. I think it's actually just there's a lot of controls, and once you get it there it's fine, and of course the good thing is you've got the memory on the seat, so that's good. Anyway, I've spoken to the garage. We're going to have to drop it in tomorrow. Just hopefully sort this out one way or the other, but as I say, looking on the forums, this is quite a common issue, and may be fixed with a software update. Yeah, I'm peeved about the central console not being right. I had read on the forums that there had been some problems previously with these blank centre consoles, but I thought it had been fixed by a firmware update. Obviously that's not been, well, potentially not been applied to my car, or there's a more serious fault. Now, it was working when I picked up the car. We'll see. Maybe there's another fault entirely. But it doesn't. I mean, you can still drive the car. That's not a problem at all. The main centre console's working. The main driver console vehicle's working, but the rest of it's not. It's still a lovely car to drive. I've done 100 miles since I picked it up, so yeah, it's a lovely drive. I come out. Somewhat nicer location at the moment. I don't know if you can see that. It's probably a bit too bright, but it's yeah, we're at the Rutland Water at the moment, which is a beautiful place. Very easy to have a look around. I think while we're here, we'll actually have a look around the car on the outside. So currently we're on off-road height. You can see there's quite a big gap between the wheel and the wheel arch. That will auto lower when you get to I think speeds over 60 it seems to be. Nice, I love that scoop. Although I can understand why people were sort of saying why did they have a radiator on here for an electric car. It's good, it gives them a place to put the camera for one thing, which is quite good, but the fact we've got this scoop, basically you can see where the airflow comes over and it goes over the top. I was really worried about the rear windscreen not having a wiper, but that's actually proved not to be a problem. We'd had some wet yesterday and it disappeared really easily. It's a lovely shape. Now this one has the fantastic gesture push. Okay, I need to be a bit closer to do that. Let's try that again. Now it does take a bit of practice. I've still got it wrong. Let's try one more time, see if I get it right. No, I'm not doing it right today. Every time I've done this, when I've actually needed to do it, it's worked first time. When I just demonstrate it, it doesn't want to work. Might be because the car's that's it, got it. Got there in the end, and I stopped it as well with the second kick. Like this. So open it up again. You can see it opening nicely. It's fairly cavernous boot. It's full of bags at the moment. Quite nice. You can actually kick both sides of the thing. I just kicked it that side, and it's shutting. I'll probably have to trim that a little bit because I've got my number plate in. Top tip: never show your number plates on films and videos. So yeah, we can see we've got a bit of tinting. This has got the black trim rather than the silver trim, which I quite like. Saves the reflections. This is a charging point. So open that up. If I can work out how to open it up. There you go. Dips open. You see it's CCS in there. Now these are a little bit unintelligible, it has to be said. They basically tell you when you're waiting to charge, when you've actually started charging, if you're on a time charge. So let's just come to the top. I think it's waiting for communication. Second one says it's ready to go, but it's on a time charge. Third one says it's charging. Fourth one says it's full, and the last one, fifth one says it's managed to get a charging area. And you've got down the bottom, you've actually got a QR code you can scan, which is quite neat to get some more information. Right, so it's a CCS charge point. That means it's got a Type 2 charger up here, and then if you want to put it on the fast charger, you just pull this flap off, which is really tight. I was actually struggling to get this off. And then you've got the two DC points you can plug in. So far I've only charged it on the AC, because that's AC current, part of DC. Well, actually when they combine together it's fully DC. But it seemed to charge very well. Had a few issues on the first charge, just getting the hang of it really. Basically when you unlock the car twice it stops charging, which is quite fun. But and I also had a problem where it was when I opened the door, it went back to basically communicating. It was initialising rather than charging. Well, it's a lovely car, really nice car.